alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to your channel Logic Thinking. Today we are going to continue talking about SAT traps. Today we are going to talk about trap number 5, which is percent of versus percent less or greater, and trap number 6, which is percent versus quantity. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Please watch the video to the end because the most important points will be at the end of the video. Thank you. Let's start. Welcome back to your channel. Let's start now. Talks about trap number 5. Percent of versus percent less or greater. Be careful. Reading the question is very important. Today's traps are very tricky. So we have to know how to read the question very well. And as I said before, those traps, not only for American Diploma, those traps are for all students who take math. This is very important because in our channel, I'm teaching you the way of logic thinking, the way of using logic thinking while you are solving the problems. Okay, now let's read the question and see how we are going to read it. What number is 33 and 1/3% less than 9? This is very tricky. Very small question and very quick question, but very tricky. Now, this is usually, most of the students will read the question as I read before. But let's now read it as I want you to read it. Okay. What number? So the first thing here, I have a number. Great. Is 33 and 1/3%. Okay. When we talk about percent, I have to know that percent must have percent of what? I cannot say 10% only. I have to say 10% of what? So I have to have something that I'm going to take that percentage from. So when I say 10% of 100, that means it's 10. And so on. So he told me 33 and 1/3%. He did not tell me from what. Wait. Continue. Less. Less means minus. Less means minus. Than. This is the very important now. Than 9. Than 9. So the first point I'm going to take it from than is that 33 and 1/3%, it will be of the 9 because he told me than, less than 9. So the main number is 9. So this is the first point. The second point, he told me less than 9. That means after I get the 33 1/3% of the 9, I'm gonna subtract it from 9 because he told me less than 9. How about if he told me more than 9? Though more than 9, that means it's going to be 9 plus the answer. I'm gonna get it from percentage. In this case, I'm gonna take it 9 minus the answer that I'm gonna take it from percentage. What that answer? So how the question would be? 9 minus, okay, because this is less than 9. Okay, 33 1/3% of 9. So how can I do it? I'm gonna say it 33 times 3 100 plus 99 plus 1 100, because I have percent, it's going to be over 100. That will give me 1/3. Give me 1/3. Great. So what do I have now? 1/3. This is only, I simplified. I told you before in lecture number 1, you have to simplify your requirements. You have to simplify what he needs from you. You have to divide it to the easiest way to solve. So I simplified 33 1/3%. Okay. No, so it's 1/3. Okay, 1/3, I said percent means of something, of. So 1/3 of 9. So 1/3 of 9 is what? Is 3, right? 1/3% of 9. So it's going to be 3. That means the answer will be 9 minus 3. So very quick, the answer will be 6. Now, it's very easy when you read the question well and when you simplify it. Okay? So, the most important here, I repeat again, the most important point that you have to mark is I have 33 and 1/3%, and I have less than, and I have this 9. These three things are very, very, very important. Okay? Now, deal one by one, as I told you before. Let's now solve the question. Percentage question. Very, very tricky percentage question. Please take care of it. Okay, so solving it very fast. As I said before, 33 1/3% equal 1/3, and I explained before how did I did it. Thus, 33% 1/3% less than 9 equal 9 minus open bracket 1/3. What's this 1/3? It is the answer of 33 1/3% times 9. So when you simplify, 1/3 times 9 equal 3. That means 9 minus 3 equal 6. Okay, let's move now to the next question, or next trap, sorry. Okay, trap number 6. Trap number 6 talks about ratio versus quantity. Remember, we took before in lecture number 2, in trap number 3, we took ratio versus ratio versus ratio. And I hope that you study it. Okay, today in trap number 6, we are going to talk about ratio versus quantity. Okay, let's start. Okay, now let's read the question. And I said we are going to read it very carefully, as I explained before, and we'll see what's the important part here in this question. The ratio of two quantities. Be careful. This is the first point important. The ratio of the first thing is quantity. Quantity is very important for me. So I'm dealing with quantities. Ratio is always for quantities. Okay. Is 3 to 4. If each of the quantities is increased, each of the quantities, he did not tell me each of ratio, because in ratio I cannot add or subtract. Be careful, this is very important. But you can multiply and divide. Okay? Now, so if each of the quantities is increased by 1, what is the ratio of those new quantities? Very good. Very quick. Without thinking. Without thinking. Here he's talking about, he's repeating quantities, right? So what did I add? I add 1 to the ratio or to the quantities? I add 1 to the quantities. So what he wants the ratio of those quantities. Okay, very good. Do I have any quantity here? No. Very quick. So the answer is, it cannot be determined by information given, because I don't have any quantities. See, without going through the question, without going through details, because I don't have quantities. See, as I said, reading the question is very important. Will save a lot of time for you. He's telling me quantities, and as you know, before I told you last lecture number 2, you cannot add or subtract quantities. Ratios. But quantities, yes, I can add. 3 to 4, it could be 9 to 12. Multiply both ratios by 3. Or multiply by 4. It could be 12 to 16. Any ratio. But I have okay, when I have 12 to 16, can I add? This is quantities now. Can I add and subtract from this? Yes. You can add and subtract to quantities. But here, without going through the whole details, once I don't have any quantities, he did not mention any quantity for me, so the answer E, it cannot be determined very simply and very quickly. I know most of the students will go through so many details, and it will be very hard for them. So please don't confuse yourself. Read the question well. Reading the question, understanding the question is very, very, very important. Now, okay, let's see now the answer. The answer that here I'm giving, but I already solved the problem for you without going to those answers, without going to these details. No need to go to those details. Why? Here, the wrong answer is 3. Sorry. Now, the wrong answer is D. Why? Simply, any student, what will he do? He will add 1 to the ratio, which is 3 and 4. So it will be 3 plus 1, which is equal 4, plus, or 2, 4 plus 1, which is 5. And this is wrong. And that answer must be there. And this is wrong. Why wrong? I explained before. Because you can add or subtract only to quantities, but you cannot add or subtract to ratios. The trap, you cannot simply add and subtract from both parts. You can multiply and divide. Okay, solving it fast. I solve it very fast. At example, 3 women and 4 men. If I add, the ratio is 3 to 4. Okay, but if I make this 3 9, that means I multiply by 3. So if I make 4 12, 9 to 12, right? Those are quantities. Now 9 and 12 are quantities. If I add, as you can see, if I add 1 to this 9 will be 10. If I add 1 to 12 will be 13. Is 4 to 5 is equal to 10 to 13 are not equal. Why? Because in the first case, I add 1 to the percentage. The second, I add 1 to the quantity, and they are not equal. This is the longest way. But the easiest way, as I explained in the beginning, I said that once he did not mention any quantity for me, that means it cannot be determined. I hope you understood. Study very well. Watch the video. Solve these 2 traps by yourself, one by one. Still, if you cannot understand, you cannot solve it, watch the video again and resolve it again and repeat this until you can solve the question by yourself. Thank you for watching. I remind you again to subscribe, like, and share this video. Thank you very much.